It's been around for 30 years, and for 29 of those years, it's been a complete joke. Now though, we're going to see if the Reliant Robin has the makings of a spaceship.
It's light, it's cheap, and it tapers to a point, like a rocket, so we're already heading in the right direction.
But we're not just going to strap rockets to it, set it off and wave it goodbye, because we're going to see if we can turn it into the most difficult of all spacecraft, the one that has to take off and be used again, a space shuttle.
Right, gentlemen, what we want from you is the most difficult type of space rocket, a space shuttle. This has to work properly. It has to have the big fuel tank, it has to have the booster rockets, they all have to separate, and most importantly, we have to be able to bring it back down under control to a landing.
And it's worth saying as well that nobody's going to go in this, but it has to be landed.
Yeah, the idea of this is that we will send it up to a few thousand feet. What we're doing is testing the principle. If you can make all this work and we can bring it into this controlled landing, we will probably get funding from the EU for a proper space mission.
So you want to launch it, jettison the SRBs?
Jettison the SRBs.
Jettison the orbiter, and fly it down.
What's the orbiter?
The Reliant.
Right.
Have you got a spare $1 billion then?
No, you see, that's why we've come to you, because you're from Manchester and you'll be able to do it for 10 and 6.
And there'll be as much tea as you can drink while you're doing it.
Chips in lard, everything, anything you want.
It is difficult in every single way.
Right.
You've got a Reliant Robin. It's a car, so it's really, really heavy.
Yeah.
So, rough numbers, we're going to need about 12 times the amount of power that the Mini had.
Really?
It's the largest non-commercial rocket launched in Europe. It's the most powerful non-commercial rocket launched in Europe.
Right.
As a rocket, it's the most awful shape it could ever be.
But I thought the Robin was a good place to start because it's pointy at one end. That's as far as I've got with that.
It's pointy.
Shuttle.
Yeah.
Hello, is that Model Aeroplane Monthly? Great. I need some help. This, I think, is the answer. We fit a more powerful version of whatever this is to our space shuttle. Then we can take control of it from the ground after it's jettisoned its rockets and fly it in by remote. It's a good plan. We've just got to get good at flying. Bloody hell, James. It's enormous.
That's a solid rocket booster. There are 2 of those. That hasn't even got its nose cone on yet. It's actually a bit bigger than that.
But I was thinking firework on a stick. This
I know.
is...
So was I. But that isn't the biggest bit.
No, the external fuel tank was the biggest bit, complete with extra rockets in the bottom. Then there were more rockets in the Reliant and explosive bolts to separate everything. The whole construction was mind-bogglingly complicated.
What occurs to me now is the list of things to go wrong is...
enormous.
Yeah.
And if any one of them goes wrong...
See, I've been worried about the landing. The chances of getting as far as the landing on the day are now...
How did you get on with your flying, by the way?
Good.
One grovelling phone call to the University of the West of England and we secured permission to use their wind tunnel. And because it was free, we assumed it was self-service.
Go.
Well, what do you mean, go? I don't know what... Do that. That's good.
No matter how hard he tried, James couldn't make himself into the shape of a Reliant Robin, even with help. Thankfully, 2 eggheads arrived with the scale model of our shuttle.
You see a beard like that and you know you're in safe hands.
Yep.
Well, basically, we're looking for anything aerodynamically nasty. Yeah, the Reliant is a problem aerodynamically.
Well, they didn't really design it with this in mind, did they?
Is there any washout or wash-in on the wing?
It's basically simple, symmetrical aerofoils.
I don't know what you 2 are saying.
Well, there's the aerofoil section of the wing. Right.
So, the big question, will it fly?
I took it from his silence that he had his doubts. And he wasn't alone. Like the real thing, our shuttle would glide back to Earth without power. And Steve, our pilot, had also built a model to show how well it did this.
What's it actually going to feel like to fly, do you think?
Well, it's going to come down like a lift with a cable cut.
You're not filling me with hope, Steve.
Well, most normal aeroplanes, they sort of glide for about, you know, if they fly 20 feet forward, they lose about a foot in height.
Yeah.
Afraid the Robin is the other way round. 3, 2, 1.
And when the model was released from its tow plane,
It's just plummeting to the Earth. I'd rather you than me, I tell you.
The launch site was a military base whose whereabouts are a top secret. Bang on time for its date with destiny, the Reliant Robin had arrived.
You're all right. You're all right.
Keep it coming.
You're all right.
On that line.
You're all right.
Yep.
You're all right. Back.
Nice. And stop. That is the business end of a reusable Reliant orbiter.
Wow.
Hammond,
what?
what do you think the chances are of it actually working?
It'll work.
It's just that, you know, when we do these big things, they usually end in some sort of massive disaster. I'd quite like this one to work.
The tension now was almost unbearable. You could almost hear Jeremy preparing some intergalactic smugness. So, would it stay on course during the ascent? Would the rockets and fuel tank detach? And would Steve, who by the way had refused our kind offer of a bunker, be able to pilot the Robin down safely? In just a few seconds, we'd know.
Separate! Separate!
12, 1,000.
Separate!
Break!
That's why
How are you going to use it again?